Hey, what's up, hardheads? Welcome back to Bobby Likes It Spooky, and today I'm reviewing The Conjuring 3, The Devil Made Me Do It. And yes, the devil is making me do this review.
I like it spooky.
Paranormal investigators Ed and Lorraine Warren try to uncover the truth behind a murderer's claim of demonic possession. The Conjuring 3 was directed by Michael Shaves and story by David Leslie Johnson McGoverick. Oh man, The Conjuring 3, The Devil Made Me Do It. Y'all, I had a good time with this film. There was so much going on like the other Conjuring movies, but I did have some issues with this one here. Before I get into this review, please make sure you smash that like button, and if you're new, welcome to Bobby Likes It Spooky, and hit that subscribe button, and enjoy. So the anticipation for The Conjuring was real, y'all. I was looking forward to this film since last year, but due to COVID, it obviously been pushed back. And then when we got this trailer, I was super hyped. I did like what I seen. And the hype around this film was definitely crazy, especially with the title, The Devil Made Me Do It. And if you guys are unfamiliar with Ed and Lorraine's case on The Devil Made Me Do It, please go ahead and Google it because this case was very interesting. Also getting into the promotion of this film, the people behind the scenes and the actors was hyping this film up, saying this is the most scariest case and hyped up case that Ed and Lorraine Warren had to do. Now that made me extra hyped because again, if you got a title called The Devil Made Me Do It and then you go on Google and look up the actual case and you get in a movie about that case, things got real during that case. You know, somebody actually died. Compared to all the other cases, you know, there's demonic possession and weird things happening, but I don't think anybody actually died up until this one. So it just made things so much more interesting. So when I got an opportunity to see this movie early, I said, you know what, I'm in, I'm ready. I sat back and I watched. When I got done watching the movie, I came out of it satisfied. I wasn't truly shook like how I was with The Conjuring and The Conjuring 2. I was expecting those same vibes, and you do get a little bit of those vibes in this movie, but you can definitely tell that something is missing from this film. And I think what's missing from this movie is James Wan. I'll get more into that in my dislikes. What I enjoy about this film is that they're actually building on Ed and Lorraine Warren's relationship. The other Conjuring movies, you get to see other families and them dealing with their possessed loved one or friend or whoever, and then Ed and Lorraine come up at the end or maybe in the middle of the film and kind of come in and do their thing. In this movie, they're throughout the whole entire film. So you get to follow them on their journey throughout the whole movie, trying to help this little boy and also this teenage boy. And you just see that their love for each other conquers everything. I feel like they don't work well when they're separate. They're so much better when they're together. Though Lorraine is the clairvoyant in the relationship, so she get to see things or whatever, but I feel like Ed is that backbone where he pushes her, he pushes himself, he do whatever he can to help Lorraine and help solve whatever case that they're doing. And Lorraine also got a good backbone, and her faith in this movie is absolutely amazing. I feel like what happens in this movie, Ed would not get through some of the things that he got through if it wasn't for Lorraine. So I'm so happy that they built on these characters in this movie because you actually felt it. It made me love their love story so much more. And I think that was the most amazing thing to me in this movie is that this is technically a love story between these two with some crazy stuff happening in the background. Now, I'm not going to eat out the demonic stuff because some of that demonic stuff was definitely crazy. I think the best part to me in The Conjuring 3 is you get to feel the presence of evil. For me, I felt the whole presence of evil lingering around, and you just know that the Warrens are in trouble, and to see them conquer each thing that they go through in this movie, and you know this evil is lingering around because things are just popping up and they tackling it and they're doing what they're supposed to do. But I felt that in this film, and I know in the other two movies you do feel it, but in this film here it makes sense why the evil's lingering around and going and coming and going and coming, which never really happened in the last two movies. The last two movies, once somebody was possessed, it was latched onto them, and you just see them go through their stages of demonic possession. Where in this one, the demonic entity is coming and going. It's like in waves. So sometimes they're there, sometimes they're not. And I think that's what makes it really scary is because you don't know if this person's going to have an outburst, if they're going to be possessed, if they're not going to be possessed. It's just a lot going on in that particular part with demonic possession. I'm trying my best not to give it away because this is a spoiler-free video. But there's some things happening behind the scenes where there's reasons why this is happening. As soon as this movie opened up, you get into the craziness, you get the contortionism, the dramatic stuff going on, the wind, the lights flickering. You just get all of the crazy possession, demonic stuff that you see in the previous Conjuring movies. And also, again, like I said in the beginning of this video, this is a real case where somebody actually died. So somebody that was possessed in this movie actually killed somebody. That turned into a whole court case where Ed and Lorraine was actually involved in. And I think that does make it actually much scarier, is because somebody actually did lose their life due to somebody being possessed. And you can't imagine going into court and say, well, the reason I did it is because the devil made me do it. And you get to see in this movie how all of that play out, because if you go into court and you tell like the judge and the jury that, they're going to look at you like you're crazy. So they spend a little bit of time trying to figure out what's going on with that, and they're trying to figure how all of this is realistic. This is one of my favorite parts in the film, because you get to spend some time and hear other people's thoughts on, you know, demonic possession, if it's real, if it's fake. They talk a little bit about faith and God and things like that. So it kind of gets deep into how demonic possession plays a part into making somebody go crazy and killing somebody. Again, I'm trying to keep things light because I want you guys to see the movie. Now, what I really didn't care for in The Conjuring 3 is that a lot of things felt very predictable, and I know coming off of 1 and 2, you kind of could see where things is coming, but I'm going to go back. We got a different director, Michael Shavs, in here, and he did The Curse of La Llorona, which I reviewed also, so if you want to check that out, the review is right here. Now, The Curse of La Llorona, I really didn't care for that movie. The direction was great. I like Michael's cinematography and how he works his cameras. And when I heard that he was directing this film, I said, okay, I have some hope, because this is a different story. In The Conjuring 3, I felt like James Wan had faith in Michael and he believed in him. So that's why he brought him on to The Conjuring 3. So now, I'm not discrediting Michael, because I love, again, his camera work. I love his cinematography and how he works his camera. In this movie, he does a great job, but I felt like something was missing, and that was James Wan. Like The Conjuring 1 and 2, James Wan played tricks on you. There's a formula that he has, and it's something that he does with the music and the sounds. When things get like super silent and quiet, you know something's going to come. You don't know from what direction, you don't know from what angle, but he always has something coming at you, and there's always some type of trick, and I love it. In this movie here, I felt like that was missing. There was no tricks. I felt like when they did use the silence in this movie, it was predictable on the jump scare. Jump scares really didn't have me shook because I predicted it. I knew what was going to come. I didn't know what it was, but I did know once that actor and actress turned around, something was going to be there, and it didn't really scare me. Again, I'm not discrediting Michael because he did a great job. Some of his stuff did work in this movie for me, but overall, as far as scares, it didn't capture me, unfortunately. So that was just one of my disappointments there. Again, it's still good. I still like it, but it was just missing that same formula that Conjuring 1 and 2 had. There was something else I disliked about this movie, but it's really hard for me to explain without spoiling it for y'all. All I'm going to say is, in the previous Conjuring films, there's a demonic presence and entity that's there that scares you that could potentially have a Conjuring movie of their own. From like the first Conjuring, you got Annabelle. The second Conjuring, you got The Nun. In this movie here, we don't really get that. Like, we don't get like a spin-off character, I guess. And I guess that could be a good thing, but for me, if you're going to keep building upon the Conjuring universe and have like these fun movies, I feel like you should have a secondary character that could potentially have a sequel of their own that scared us, you know, like how The Nun and Annabelle did, because it did such a good job in those two here. And this one, again, I might have missed it, but that was missing. I was looking for that secondary antagonist that could potentially have his own sequel in the Conjuring universe, and we have failed to get that, in my opinion. So when you guys check out this movie, let me know if you seen something, got something, maybe I missed something, I don't know. But overall, guys, The Conjuring 3, The Devil Made Me Do It was a good time. It was a good entry into the Conjuring universe. I love Vera Farmiga and Patrick Wilson. They're the perfect actors to portray Ed and Lorraine Warren. They did such a great job. They built on their story much more in this film, which I appreciate so much, and that's what made me fall in love with them even more. I love them so much together. I love the actors in this film. I love the little boy Daniel. I love Arnie. I love his girlfriend in here. She was such a huge part in this film. The scares were great. Again, the jump scares were predictable to me, but it doesn't mean that is predictable to you. So hopefully you guys can enjoy those parts of the film. My rating for The Conjuring 3, The Devil Made Me Do It, is a 4.0 out of a 5, a horror head watch. I recommend you guys to go see this movie. And if you feel uncomfortable going to the theaters on June 4th, it'll be there on HBO Max for you to stream. So check out The Conjuring 3, The Devil Made Me Do It. Come back to this video and let me know your guys' thoughts. I'm so curious to know what you guys thought about this movie. And let me know your rating of the Conjuring universe. Like in each film, let me know what you put The Conjuring 3 in your rating in the comments below. So check out The Conjuring 3, like this video, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.